Hey everyone, so here we have quick lit checks. We're going to be doing one of these a day until with the SOL. So that's 3 a week, one Monday, one Tuesday and Wednesday, and one Thursday and Friday. Now, with the Monday one, it must be completed individually. No exceptions. Monday is our short, quick day. We have to make sure that you come in, get locked in, get it done. Tuesday through Friday, you can do those individually with a partner or with a group. Now, the following day with each of these, we're going to go over them. Maybe we'll go over them the same day. It just depends on how the day goes. But we're going to be going over them so that there is fidelity with this, and I need you paying attention when we go over them. This is for you. These are skills that we are building, especially like remembering, doing all these things before this SOL test, and I need your focus on them. They're not really hard questions, but you just got to follow along with them. So here we have 5 short passages. Okay, this is going to be the individual one, but I am going to do the first 2 with you. Now, I need you to make sure you're doing these things that are in the boxes. Okay, so highlight clues in the passage that helped you understand Jasmine's character. Highlight details from the passage that describe how the dust storm caused destruction. Highlight the imagery used in the passage. So yes, for each of these questions, you want to, of course, answer the question. But before you answer the question, right, how does the author's description of Jasmine's actions develop her character in the passage? Well, let's highlight clues in the passage that help you understand Jasmine's character. So the basketball bounced hard against the polished floor as Jasmine dribbled down the court. Nothing there. The echo filling the gym. Sweat trickled down her forehead. Okay, that has to do with her, but she did it slow. Her teammates shouted for her to pass, their voices rising above the roar of the crowd. But Jasmine kept her eyes locked on the hoop. All right, I like that. The scoreboard flashed. 5 seconds left. Her heart hammered as she crossed the 3-point line. That's something to do with her. She took a deep breath. Her knees, bent her knees and launched the ball into the air. Okay, so to me, right, I didn't do the right. Here we have, she's being asked to pass. She's nervous because the sweat trickling down her forehead, but she's not slowing down despite being nervous. Okay, so she's nervous just because it's a big moment, but she's willing to take on that big moment. Her teammates shouted for her to pass, but she does not pass to them. Right? And I don't think that's just so much like a saying she's selfish. It's just, again, going back to she has confidence in what she can do. And then her heart hammered as she crossed the 3-point line. So still kind of like just in the excitement and the nervousness. And she took a deep breath, bent her knees, and launched the ball. So then all that confidence is shown here because she tosses the ball. All right? I'm not going to answer the question for you, but I need you to make sure you highlighted the same thing for me. And then I know that you can get the right answer based on what I highlighted here. Now, looking at the second question here, all right, how does the author show the connection between the environment and the choices families made during the Dust Bowl? Okay, so highlight details from the passages that describe how the Dust Bowl storms cause destruction. So we're only looking for moments where the Dust Bowl is causing destruction. During the Dust Bowl of the 1930s, strong winds lifted by soil into the air, creating massive dust storms that swept across the Great Plains. Entire skies darkened at noon, turning day into night. The storm buried fences, drifted against houses, and coated kitchen tables in a thick layer of grit. Farmers watched helplessly as their crops withered and their livestock struggled to survive, choking on the dust. Okay? And then with fields barren and no harvest to sell. There we go. And so then from there, families packed their belongings into trucks and wagons. Many left their homes behind and traveled west, hoping to find work and better living conditions elsewhere. So how does this thing right here, all of these things that happened, right? So their fences were buried, the dust drifted against houses, coated kitchen tables in a thick layer of grit. Like you couldn't even eat at your dinner table without eating dust. They watched their crops die, so they couldn't make any money or couldn't feed themselves. Their livestock was dying, and then the fields were barren, no harvest to sell, so nothing left. They picked up and they moved. Right? So how does the author show the connection between the environment and the choices families made during the Dust Bowl? Right there is your connection, okay? It's always in the text for you. You just have to go back and look for it, which, again, I know we don't want to do in class, but when it comes time for the SOL, like we've got to take the time to do these things, which is why we're starting to practice these quick lit checks. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do this imagery one just because imagery is something that we a lot of the time struggle with, Okay, so here we go. The candle flickered in the corner, throwing long, spindly shadows across the wall. Each time, though, I mean, I guess technically I don't need to highlight each time, but I mean, it's still, okay. The wind rattled the window. The flame bent low but refused to go out. The wax had melted into uneven ridges, dripping slowly down like frozen tears. The small pool of light barely reached the edges of the room, leaving the corner swallowed in darkness. Okay. And then you could talk about the flame persisting and wavering steadily as well, but it's not as powerful as these other ones. Okay. So how does the imagery of the candle in the passage contribute to the overall meaning? I mean, I feel like this is still part of it as well. This is a lot of imagery. All right, so we have sight here. The candle's flickering in the corner, throwing long, spindly shadows across the wall. The wind is rattling, so we have sound. The flame, again, bent low but refused to go out. I can picture the flame bending. All right, the wax had melted into uneven ridges, so you're seeing like little ridges on the wax, but they're not the same, so it's like one's higher than the other. And then the small pool of light barely reached the edges of the room, leaving the corner swallowed in darkness. So it's almost like this candle that's refusing to go out, to me, is symbolizing something more important than just a candle, right? Because around you, you're surrounded by darkness, but that candle is keeping the brightness around you. And that's powerful stuff if you want to like look deeper into what that light could be. I'm not here to do that right now. I just want to make sure we can get the right answer to the question and highlight the imagery. All right, so on these last two, you're doing the highlighting as well. I'm not going to do the highlighting as well for these last two. And then also I want you to answer the questions for each one of these if you have not done so as we've gone through this. All right, guys, thank you for watching. We're going to do one of these a day. I'm not making these videos after today. I expect you to be doing this on every single one. I expect you to be highlighting where it says to highlight. And then tomorrow you can work with a partner if you choose. All right, thank you guys. Bye, everybody.